Hello and welcome to another wonderful Make Peace with Life podcast. We are here to help you have a better, more fun, more energetic, more amazing life because you're having it. You just might not know it right now. Sure, we all have tough times, we all have bad times, but yes, in the grand scheme of it, if you make peace with life, you're going to be wonderful. Learn how to accept the things you can't control and everything. So we're going to dive into the show today. Got a great show for you. This is episode number 13. We're moving right along with our episodes between the shortcast and the podcast. This is now like the 30th episode we have recorded, so I'm super proud of that. Super fun stuff going on. But let's dive into today's first topic. Is like, why does life seem so busy? Until it isn't. There's an interesting dynamic here. We're either overwhelmed or we're bored. Very seldomly do we hit that sweet spot in the middle where we're just content. And that's where we want to get you to today. We want to get you to that spot where you feel content. So let's talk a little bit more about this subject. Because we always spend our days wishing for the opposite. When we're super busy and we have a lot going on, a lot of times we're just like, God, I just wish life would slow down and I could just relax and sit on the couch and watch a movie, blah, blah, blah. But in return, when we're doing that and we don't have anything going on and our life is kind of slow in that sense, then we're bored. We want to do something. We want to get out and go somewhere. We want to have a vacation. We want to do something because this is boring. So we have to find that middle ground to where we accept everything. We're not going to make it perfect. We're never going to make it perfect. Life's never going to be perfect, so stop wishing for that. But we want to find a way that we can blend all of it together and enjoy it and make peace with life. That's what this movement is all about. But there's an illusion that a busy life means you're important, that you have lots to do, that you have to get it. But a lot of times a busy life means we're not just organizing our events, our day-to-day activities in the most efficient manner. So there's a lot of times that we could cut or add time to our day by cutting out some things or combining some things. So like if you're going to do errands, go do them all at the same time instead of cutting them up. If you're going to do housework, do it all at the same time and get it done and over with instead of doing a little bit here and a little bit there. Multitasking, although I love the multitask, but it is one of the biggest time wasters there ever was because you start and stop things, start and stop things, start and stop things. So you never really get anything finished right away. It's always hanging out there. So even though I'm a multitasker and I love doing it, I've made peace with that. And you guys need to too, if that's the way you want to go about it. But we always crave that slower lifestyle. We always crave, we're always, as a worker, as an employee of a corporation or someplace else, we're always looking forward to retirement. But then when you look at some of the people retired and they're just like they get methodical and sense. I love the retired people that I see that are on the go and doing things. I'll use my mother as an example. She's a great example that she hardly ever just sits around. She's got a billion grandkids and great grandkids that she's always going to watch their games or to see a play or to watch it's a birthday party or something. So it keeps her on the go. So she's just not sitting around. She has moments where she can, but I think she's made peace with that. She worked very hard her whole entire life, and now she's retired, semi-retired. She couldn't even stay retired for very long because she goes in a couple days a week and works. But that's something that we have to learn to deal with because we always romanticize what we don't have. So if we're busy and we're having to go to work every day and everything's chaotic, then we want that slow life. That seems romantic to us, laying on the couch, eating bonbons, watching television. But when we're in that spot, then we're like, gosh, I wish I had something to do. After so long of sitting there eating bonbons and watching movies, I don't know where bonbons came from, but But then we get the opposite effect. Then we're like, oh God, I just wish I had something to do. I wish I was busy. I wish I had things going on. And we are in control of that destiny. Like I said, we can cut things out of our lives to give us more time, and we can add things into our lives. I mean, you don't have to sit around and wait for something to fall in your lap. If you're bored and you're sitting at home, then find something to go do. So, but life is movement. Life is constantly moving around us. And we're going to have these flows. We're going to have times when we feel super busy. We're going to have times that we don't feel busy. You can't get around that. So that's why we want to make peace with that. We want to understand that for every time that we're sitting around doing nothing, there's another time that we're going to be super busy. Life has a funny way of balancing out in those types of situations. So, but the big thing is stop attaching negative words to busy and bored. So instead of saying, you look at your life, you're busy, and instead of saying, oh gosh, I'm so busy, which our mind takes that as a negative connotation, say something like, oh, my life is so full. Change it, spin it around a little bit. Same way, if you're sitting at home, you're going, oh, I'm so bored. You can say things like, oh, this is a great time to relax for me. I'm always wanting relaxation. This is a great time to relax for me. So just change the words up. And so often in life we can do that. We can change the words up and make things feel differently in that sense. But you have to find your rhythm. So find that rhythm that works the best for you. If you're too busy, slow it down a little bit. It doesn't have to mean you have to cut it all off altogether. Same thing if you're bored. Doesn't mean you have to be on the go all the time. It means find that balance for you, and that's one of those things. Because, and this will sound weird, but sometimes when you're in that middle stage, so you're not too busy, you're not super bored, you're kind of in that middle stage where it's just kind of like, that's where life is kind of, and this will sound weird, but it's kind of like blah. We think of it as a sweet space, but if we stay right there, life gets really blah. We don't have those ups and downs going on, and life is just kind of like, it's not as exciting. It's not dead. It's not dead, not boring, not exciting, just kind of, And I don't know if I like living in that place where it's just kind of like status quo. So I don't know, that's individually wise, but start checking your words and start replacing them. So stop putting negative connotations on, using negative connotation words like busy and bored. Change those up, and it will change your life tremendously as far as being too busy, to where your life's too full, or you're too bored, where your life is just kind of relaxing right now. Change the words up to make it feel more like it. And remember, we're here to make peace with life. Life is never going to be perfect. So if you get that out of your head, life is never going to be perfect, and we are going to make that flow of life wonderful for us. So let's start working on that. So if your life is busy or full, and you want it to be the opposite, remember that sometimes we get what we ask for, and then we don't like that either. So remember that as you're going forward with your busy or bored lifestyle. The next one is, and this is a big one for me, is the honor of working out. I love to go. I'm not in super great shape, I will say that. Not like a marathon runner or a triathlete or anything like that. But through my life, I've always liked to have physical activity in my life. And I was like, and I was thinking about this because how many times have you heard somebody complaining about working out? So, oh, I have to go do my workout. Bad. Oh, I got to go to the gym today. I got to, I got to make sure I work, do those sit-ups today or do that. Working out is a privilege. It is one of those things that I feel is a privilege. Not everybody can do that. So not everybody can exercise. Not everybody can get out there and be physically active. And sometimes whenever you do those complaining about having to go to the gym or having to do a workout, remember that for starters. Remember that there are people that have illness. There are people that have disabilities. There are people that are injured, even to the point of some people that are old that would love to trade places with you and be able to go to the gym. So our exercise in our minds has become a chore. It's become something we have to do. And I don't know if that's a society thing or just the way we put it into our mind that we have to be in better shape. We have to be that. Yes, we should want to be in better shape, but there's this connotation that we have to go work out. We have to do it for our bodies to look better, to feel better, and that things. And those are important things. You know how you feel and your confidence is great. How you look, how you feel like you look. But I think we're pushing that too far to where like I said, it becomes a chore. It becomes something that we have to go do. We have to go to the gym. I'm going to say that a lot, I have a feeling. So, but my thing is, when I go to work out, it's not like, oh, I have to go ride my bike or I have to go lift some weights. It's like I get to go ride my bike because like I just said a few minutes ago, there are people that don't have that opportunity. One, there's people that don't have bikes. Okay. Two, there's people that are physically not able to ride a bike. Three, they might have illness to where they can't, their respiratory problems or something like that. There are any number of things that could cause people not to be able to exercise. And you have the ability to. So stop whining, stop complaining about it, and be thankful that you can. Be thankful that you can run. Be thankful that you can lift those weights. Be thankful that you can do Zumba or whatever it is. So do that, but like I said, there's millions of people out there that cannot work out. Then the next step is to ask yourself, why am I working out? Are you working out for you, or are you working out because you want to look better for somebody else, because your doctor says you need to work out, because your partner says you're getting a little chubby, buddy, you better start working out? And I think we want to stay healthy. We want to be in good shape. We want to live our life to the fullest. But when we're doing it for the wrong reasons, like we feel like we have to, then that kind of takes away from it. So we should want to do that. I mean, from a young age, I played a lot of sports growing up, had a lot of fun doing that. And when I was a kid, I could not wait to go to practice. I remember Little League especially. I could not wait to go to practice. I'd get home from school and I'd have my glove and my pants on and my hat and just waiting, watching the clock, hoping that it would get here. So where did we lose that? Where did we lose that excitement? It's very interesting the way our mind works when we're young, and it's something exciting to do. And again, we got to go do those sports. We were allowed to do those. It wasn't a chore. It wasn't like our parents forced us. I mean, there's some parents that do force their kids to play sports, but in my case, they didn't force me. I was ready to play. I wanted to go play. I wanted to do that. And so we need to get back to that youthful spirit of why we are working out. Is it just as status quo, something that we feel like we're supposed to do? Or is it really ingrained in us that our bodies need it and crave it? And because that's one thing I will say, that I am one of those people that crave to have some kind of physical activity. I'm a bike rider, a cyclist. I love to get on my bike, do that as often as I can. But the days that I can't do that, I'm lifting weights, I'm doing sit-ups, whatever. Not because I feel like I have to, but because my body craves it now. I've been doing it so long, my body craves it. If I miss a day, it feels like something's wrong. There's something wrong, and I know lots of people like that their fitness routine becomes ingrained in them, and it's not a chore, it's not a have to, but they feel like they're missing something when they don't have it in there. Now, another thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I've talked about this before when I did an episode on my bike ride, but exercise to me is a spiritual practice. This goes back way to yoga is one of the ones that sticks out in my mind. Here in the United States, we've turned yoga into an exercise. It's a, there's a class, we're doing it to lose weight, to get our body in shape and things like that. But yoga was actually started out as a spiritual practice where you got in touch with your body by pushing it to the limits and stretching and allowing it to breathe and allowing a little bit of pain into the muscle and stretching it a little bit farther. It was a metaphysical spiritual practice that I feel like is still to this day ingrained in me in everything that I do. When I get out on my bike and I'm riding and I'm just riding and I'm imagining the pedals are going up and down, and it gives me my mind a chance to work, which is one of the big things that it's why it's such exercise can be such a spiritual practice. Heard a lot of this from runners that run long distances. I mean, you're running a marathon, you're running 26 miles. Your mind's got to be thinking about something. You're not just going run, 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 run. You're thinking about something. You might be thinking about having a beer after you get done, or you might be thinking about, oh my gosh, when I get done with this, I got to do something else. Or you might be, like I do, I use it as a meditation to try to get into my mindset. Actually, one of the things I do before this podcast is I'll go out and ride my bike, like I've mentioned in previous podcasts, and it helps me brings ideas into my head because I can truly think. I don't have the distractions. The TV's not on. The laundry doesn't need to be done when I'm out on my bike. I'm not worried about that stuff. It allows my mind to relax and to think and to open up. And I get a lot of great ideas for the podcast from that, not only the podcast, but for books or for things that I'm working on. Even, you can even use it to create wonderful ideas for your employment or your kids, some great craft ideas for your kids. But by doing that physical activity, it triggers your brain to think. And if your brain doesn't have other things to focus on, like you're multitasking, like we talked about earlier, where you're at home and you're like, oh, I'm working out and I'll go fold some clothes between, doing the workout. I'll do this set and then I'll go do some clothes. Those type of things. Your mind is able to open up and go, let me throw some ideas at you while you're riding your bike. Because that's what usually happens to me. It's just some things pop into my head. I might see something on my ride, or I might, just have an idea that just pops into your head. A nudge from the universe, as I call them, is when they pop into your head. But that mind kicks in and allows you to do that. Your whatever place you go to work out, whether it's out riding your bike, whether you go to the gym, whether you have a home gym or whatever thing, it can be like a temple in that sense. When you think of it as a spiritual practice, runners, when you go out there and you run and you're hitting, you're pounding that pavement, it can be like a humongous church, synagogue, whatever you want to call it. A great place where you worship not only your body by doing the exercises, but just the universe as a whole, that you're able to do this. And that's the very interesting concept as we think of it as a spiritual practice. So I want you guys to think of that. So the basic part of this is I want you to start celebrating your body, whatever you're able to do. Don't get caught up with the fact that you can't do it. I get so mad at these workout videos and stuff like that because these, you buy these or you watch these and it's all these in great shape people. They don't have workouts for the average Joe or somebody that's just starting out. I think that's a big thing, and maybe that's something that we should work on as a group here, as some kind of process to help people get started. Because if you're not worked out for a while and you're in bad shape and you want to start and you want to make that movement to get in better shape, going and getting a video that's 45 minutes long of dancing and jumping, and you're not going to be able to do that. So we need to start slow and build if you're wanting to improve yourself. So, and that can, I've seen a lot of people that have lost a ton of weight, and that is a very spiritual practice for them because not only did they lose a lot of weight and they become healthier, but they've also got some freedom back now that they can, get off the couch and do some things. So think about that. Not, that's one of the things, little steps. I've told my friends this a lot of times. We used to go to the gym and sometimes they would be like, oh, look at that guy over there. He's 300 pounds and he's trying to work out. And I'm like, guys, don't rag on that guy. He's trying. He's in here effort, because you know how much pride you have to swallow to go do that, to go start. If you're a bigger person and you go to start to work out, because you are going to be looked at as people come in. But I think that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. I think that is one of the most courageous things anybody could do. So no matter what your shape is, starting to work out is a courageous thing, and I give kudos to everybody that ever tries, and I'll be the first person to be your biggest cheerleader. So let's start changing our mindset around our workouts. Let's make them fun. Let's make workouts fun. Like, I get to go work out. Ooh, yes, I'm going to go ride my bike today, like a kid would do. Oh my gosh, I think about riding my bike when I was a kid. Oh my God, that just popped into my head as I was speaking right now, and how much freedom that was. And I could ride and ride and ride all day. We'd get with our friends, and it was such freedom. And that's the way your workout should become to you. Have that youthful energy around it. So have fun with your workouts. Now let's go to embracing uncertainty. If there is one thing in life that is certain, is that there's going to be uncertainty. That kind of sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? But it is the truth that our life is never set, planned from birth to death, and everything runs according to plan. Not even royalty, who has everything laid out for them on a silver platter. We've seen all kinds they have scandals, they have things that pop up in their lives, they have, anything can happen. But uncertainty keeps coming around, and some of the greatest moments in your life are unplanned. Think about it. Think about, in your lifetime, how many things that you have had happen to you that you weren't planning on happening. Maybe you took a new job came open and you weren't even thinking about it and you took it, or you moved to another town. Your employment closed down and you had to move. Unexpected children that you weren't planning on having, but nature has a way of working out, and you have this beautiful child in your life now that wasn't planned, but oh my gosh, what joy and excitement it brings to your life. We got to get over the fact that we can plan everything, because if you're going to plan everything, it's going to fall. And I'm a planner. I love to plan. I love to have everything mapped out, but I understand, and especially now more so going through this Make Peace with Life process, that I can't plan for everything. I can have a basic plan laid out, but I have to be accepting of things that come along and change. I mean, things have changed in my businesses over the years. Things have changed in my personal life over the years. Things that I don't have any control of. And I can sit and whine and cry about them and be like, why did this happen to me? What's going on? But we have to move forward. At some point in time, we have to go, suck it up, buttercup, and let's move forward with this uncertainty. And a lot of times it works out for the best. Almost everything in my life that has happened that was an uncertain thing has worked out for the best. And that's truly amazing. But our brain loves the certainty. Our brain likes, to know exactly what's going to happen. I've talked about our brain a lot in this show today. But our brain likes it to be clear-cut and right out there in front of us. So we don't have to think, it's perfect, because when something happens that throws that plan off, our brain kind of has to scramble. It's like, like the red alert goes off in our brain. Danger, danger, danger. Something's happening that's not supposed to be happening. What's going on? And that's when we have to allow our body to go to our mind and take some deep breaths and go, okay, uncertain things happen. This is going to be good. And when you think about all the great things that have come out of uncertain things, you can put that into play. You can put that into your mind and go, okay, we've had uncertain things happen before. We can deal with this. We'll work around it. We'll see what happens, and a lot of times we'll come out of the tunnel at the other end and be happy as a lark that that happened. So do that. Uncertainty is a dance. It is a dance that we don't know the steps to. So all of a sudden they throw out a dance. I don't know if any of you've done Dance Dance Revolution, but it throws you a dance and you have to try to mimic the steps. Well, this is kind of like what an uncertainty is. It's like a dance that we have no idea we're doing. It might take us a few times to get the steps down, might take us a few times to get into the rhythm, but eventually we're going to get it. And when we do, oh my gosh, it looks amazing. And we're dancing all over the place. And people are like, where did you learn that dance? And then other people want to learn that dance. And you have to show them, all because of uncertainty. But they so often become the greatest memories in our life. Uncertain things, this happened. I remember one time I was at a baseball game and I caught a foul ball. I wasn't planning on catching a foul ball. Who does plan on catching a foul ball? But it was one of those uncertain things that happens and you're like, oh my gosh, that was a monumental moment in my life, but I wasn't planning on it, wasn't expecting it. The chances are ridiculously small that you would ever do that, but it's one of those things that happen, and it's a great memory. I mean, I remember when I did that. I remember when it came right to me, and the excitement that as the ball's coming to me, and I caught it, and I didn't fumble it, and actually I gave it to my son. But that was the beautiful part of it. It was a great memory. There are so many things in life that we can't control. And this is where the uncertainty comes in. We have to let go of having to have control of everything. We just do. Confidence in an uncertain time is just allowing yourself to go with the flow. So you might see people that are great at dealing with uncertainty. They're just like, they're a natural at it. Well, they're not a natural at it. They just understand that if they just go with the flow, things are going to work out. Instead of getting stressed by it, they go, okay, we've had an accident or something has happened. We need to deal with it and we'll go forward. And I think of this, a lot of times I relate this to going to the airport and a plane being canceled. Some people are distraught. They're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? My plane's canceled. Some people, I have to be here at a certain time, blah, blah, blah. Well, we can't change that the plane's delayed. We can't go, no, you've got to take off. I know there's something wrong with the plane, but we got to take off at this time. And then there's other people in the airport, they're just like, okay, yeah, what are our options? Where can we go from here? So I think I relate that a lot of times to that confidence. Some people are just like, okay, that's the situation we're in. We have to deal with it. Now, again, a lot of the other outside factors play into that, but there's nothing, when there's something happens that you can't do anything about, you can stress over it, you can worry about it, but that doesn't do you any good in finding a solution. Having that confidence to step into that uncertainty and say, okay, what are my options? What can I do? Let's get it going on. So those are everything. Again, we'll go back to the opening statement of this. The only thing that is certain is uncertainty. It's like, it sounds so ridiculous, but it's so true that uncertainty is the most common thing in our life that we have to be prepared for and we have to deal with. And I think that's part of the beauty of making peace with life, is just to be prepared for uncertainty. I mean, as much as you can be. And that's usually just being able to go, okay, something happened, let me figure out how I'm going to deal with it. Because you cannot plan for every uncertain event that happens in your life, just as you can't expect your life to go along a straight and narrow path and never have anything crazy or anything like that happen in it. So I'm approaching my time limit and we have to do our energy pool. So for those of you that are just turning in for the first time, every podcast we try to do what we call an energy pool, where we'll take a few moments to be silent. And we're going to imagine a great big pool of water, but we're going to be filling, instead of water, we're going to be filling that pool with energy, our positive energy. And then the reason we do that is for those of you out there that are struggling or having some difficult times, they can dip into that pool and take some of our energy out. Again, our energy is renewable resource. our positive energy. We can make more of it. We can make as much as we want, but some of those people that are struggling, it's hard to feel that positive energy. So we're going to be quiet for a minute. I want everybody to imagine putting their positive energy into that pool. And those of you who are out there that need that energy, pull it out. And we're going to just do that for just a few seconds here. You can almost hear the positive energy flowing. You guys are awesome. So good. So wonderful. Love it, love it, love it. So yes, there's some people pulling out, and that's great. Pull as much out as you want. It's all wonderful. Okay, and there we go. We filled our energy pool. We've allowed people to take out of our energy pool. One last thing, my song of the day today. Every podcast I like to end with the song of the day. Another oldie today. I think I did the Turtles last time. Happy Together. Today is one of my favorite bands of all times. And they even started before I was born. But the Velvet Underground, fronted by Lou Reed. It was a house band for Andy Warhol, the artist, for a while. But they had some great songs, had a unique sound. It's kind of like, they were kind of considered a kind of punk predecessor. Their music was kind of different at that time. It was kind of twang. It was just unique to them, which always seems to attract me, the bands that are really very, very unique in that sensation. But the song today is Rock and Roll. If you've not heard it, Google it, go to YouTube, listen to it. It is a great song. It always gets me fired up. It talks a lot about listening to the music on the radio, which doesn't happen too much anymore, but it's a great song. I want you guys to all enjoy it. Maybe introduce yourself to the Velvet Underground. They've got a lot of great songs out there, some wonderful stuff. So check that out, because music is a spice of life, and I like my life really spicy, so I listen to a lot of music. So that is it for today. I want to encourage you. I got my Billy Idol record back here today. I love Billy Idol. Great. Congratulations on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Don't forget to get the book, Make Peace with Life. This is going to give you lots of great information, lots of wonderful reading, and it's lots of metaphysical stuff, but it's easy. It's an easy read. It flows. You can pick it up. You can read a little passage, set it down, come back, read another little passage. It's great, great, great. I keep reading this all the time, and I get a lot of the ideas for the podcast from this too. So go over to Amazon and get your copy of this. You can get it in print. You can get it on Kindle. If you're a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, you can read it for free. That's great. And don't forget to go over to Make Peace with Life. Get your shirt. Get your shirt. Don't be behind. I'm getting ready to go to a couple concerts, and I can't wait to wear my shirt to the concerts. I'm going to see the Dirty Heads, and I'm going to go see Billy Idol this year again too, along with some other people. So I'm going to wear my shirt so I can help people make peace with life. Maybe they'll see the shirt and I'll do it. So I'd love for you guys to get a shirt, go out, wear it about, allow people to see that you're making peace with life, because I love all of you out there. I hope you have a great day. I went a little long on my podcast today, but that's okay. I'm a little long-winded sometimes. So last thing, I'm just going to tell you guys all to make peace with life.